everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the NatureCity podcast. I'm your host, Carl Pradelli, and I'm also the CEO and co-founder of NatureCity, having started the company over 20 years ago with my wife, Beth. And since then, it's been our pleasure to have served over 500,000 Americans by offering them the best supplements we can make. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to get the most from phosphatidylserine, or PS for short, for brain health. You know, supplements for brain health and cognitive function are generating a lot of interest these days, for different reasons, for different folks. You have individuals like me who are over 50 and starting to feel the effects of aging and looking to stay sharp and, of course, maintain our independence as we get older. And then you have younger adults who are concerned, about mental wellness and dealing with the effects of stress. And it seems like every month we have a new reason to be worried and be exposed to additional stress. And then both these groups, both the older adults or mature adults and young adults, are we looking to improve our focus and alertness and concentration throughout the day, and looking to support our cognitive performance in our daily lives. Now, as you may know, 50% of our brains are made up of different fats. So if someone says you have a fat head, you can say, well, I have a big brain, right? Of course. One of the most important fats in our brains is an important building block for cell membranes called phosphatidylserine, or PS for short. Now, PS has two key functions. One, it just helps form the physical, structure of the brain. And two, what we've learned more recently is it plays a key role in cell-to-cell communication between the cells in your brain. So it effectively acts as a messenger, delivering information, across the synapses, which are basically the gaps between the brain cells or neurons, in your brain. Now, you can find PS in any living cell, but it's especially concentrated in the brain, where you can find up to 6 times more PS than other tissues in the body. So scientists were curious about this. Why is there all this PS in the brain? It must be pretty important. And further research found that PS is involved in several important cognitive processes, such as memory, learning, and attention. So the next natural question was, well, given it's important to cognitive function, can PS be beneficial as a supplement? We do get PS from food. It's estimated that on average, we consume a little over 130 milligrams per day. Now, it's probably less than that if you're pursuing a vegan lifestyle, or just limiting meat and fish intake, because those food sources provide a good amount of the PS that we do get from diet. Now, most of the initial research with PS as a supplement focused on mature adults, let's call it age 50 plus, still very young, but a little more mature, right? And the majority of this work found that taking 100 milligrams to 300 milligrams a day of PS, again, for at least 3 months, can have, notable and important cognitive benefits, such as helping improve memory and recall. And one of the reasons that PS seems to work so well as a supplement is it easily reaches the brain and can cross the blood-brain barrier. Very important. Not all nutrients can cross this protective blood-brain barrier. And you also have other kind of fats, such as phosphatidylcholine, which doesn't really reach the brain effectively as a supplement because your liver loves phosphatidylcholine and tends to hoard it. So it doesn't really get where we'd like to in the brain, like PS certainly has been shown to reach. Now, it's important to note that the effects of PS are not immediate. Okay, it's not a temporary cognitive booster that you'll feel the day you take the supplement. The improvement with PS has been seen over time. So as PS builds up, you can start to see its benefits. And the good news is the effects seem to be more sustainable over the long run. Now, an illustration of this, there's one good study that was conducted in Japan where participants took either 100 milligrams of PS daily or placebo for 6 months. Now, the PS group started to experience significant improvements in memory and recall after 3 months. And after 6 months, the benefits were much, much more pronounced when those taking the PS. Now, at no point in this study did really the placebo group have any notable improvements. But after 6 months, the researchers did an interesting thing. They had all the participants stop taking their supplement. So whether you're taking the PS or the placebo, they stopped taking it at the 6-month mark. However, after another 3 months, so basically 9 months since the study had initially started, they invited the participants back to do another cognitive test to see how they were faring. And interestingly, those who were taking the PS or had been taking the PS were able to maintain the improvements in cognitive function they had basically attained from taking PS for 6 months. Again, this was even though they had not taken a PS supplement for the previous 90 days. And of course, the placebo group, as I mentioned, didn't really see any notable changes. Now, this is a good illustration how the benefits of PS may take a while to kick in, but can be more sustainable over time. Now, you contrast this with some nutrients we may take, for focus or a cognitive boost that work quickly, but for a short period of time. PS is the opposite. It takes a few months to start working, but its effects can be more enduring. So we're often asked, should I take PS or something that works in the short term, whether it be a GABA, which we're big fans of the brand Pharma GABA here at NatureCity, L-theanine, we're big fans of suntheanine. Should I take those types of nutrients or PS? And it's a hard question to answer in a general way because it really depends on the individual and what your goals are. I wouldn't want to discourage anyone from taking PS because it's so foundational to brain health, being an important part of cell membranes, the fact there's so much PS concentrated in the brain and how it really works to support those cell-to-cell messenger communications that we discussed earlier. All this, which, benefits and affects our long-term brain health. Yet, on the other hand, I do know how much more focused I feel after taking our True Recall product, which includes GABA and some other nutrients helping to boost, your short-term focus and attention and alertness. So, I don't want to dismiss that so easily either. Now, ideally, if you can, I recommend taking both, right? Because, brain and mental health is such an important part of wellness. And these nutrients do different things to support you cognitively. Many people are always looking for that one magic bullet. What do I take for this, right? And it's really hard. The body is very complicated, and these nutrients work in different ways, and a lot of them work together supporting you. So it's sometimes hard to just recommend one thing. So that's why, if you can, I think the best route to go for brain health and cognitive function is combining PS and with also another supplement, which, can focus on more your short-term, cognitive function, focus boost, or even helping reduce the effects of stress that we're exposed to. Now, when it comes to PS supplements, I recommend looking for the Sharp PS brand as it's the best studied PS ingredient and also has excellent safety data too. Again, at NatureCity, we're interested in how nutrients can help us, but we also want to make sure they're safe to ingest. And with Sharp PS, you certainly get the best of both of those. Now, there are 2 versions of Sharp PS. One is made from soy, and the other is from sunflowers. At NatureCity, in our True PS product, we use the sunflower version of Sharp PS as some of our clients look to avoid soy. So that way, with the sunflower version of Sharp PS, everybody can enjoy the benefits of PS without worrying about dietary restrictions. However, and this is really important, there's another feature of True PS that's usually overlooked, in other PS supplements. PS is a relatively unstable nutrient and therefore prone to degradation. Okay, in other words, losing potency. And we've seen that with other fats and oils. For example, CoQ10, the ubiquinol form of CoQ10, can easily be oxidized, again, losing some of its potency as it reverts back to the lesser potent ubiquinol. We've seen that with omega-3 fish oils, right? The EPA and DHA can oxidize and they kind of almost crumble in structure and lose their potency. Well, this is a concern with PS2. And in fact, our manufacturer tested several PS products and found that within 4 to 5 months of manufacturing, the PS had already degraded by about 20%. Okay. So, you'd expect when you buy a PS product, it would be potent until the expiration date on the label, but that couldn't be possible here because within 4 months you had products losing up to 20% of their potency. So not something you want. And again, you'd have no idea this is happening, right? Unless you did a test yourself, which very few people are going to undertake. So it's important really to address this issue in terms of by stabilizing the PS in your supplement. And to overcome this, our manufacturer developed an exclusive stabilization technique. It's called a fluid dispersion that keeps the PS in true PS fully stable and potent right through the expiration date on the bottle. Okay, so you no longer have to guess whether your PS has degraded with true PS because of this stabilization technique that we use. Again, most other PS supplements don't account for this. And, depending on when that product was made, you may be getting the full benefits of what's listed on the label, or it may lose some potency over time. We don't want you to have to worry about that. So in True PS, we combine the Sharp PS with the stabilization technique to ensure you're getting the potent PS that you expect and that you purchase. So True PS comes in 100 milligram soft gels. So you can take one daily. If you're just starting PS or True PS, you can take an increased amount for the first few weeks to help jumpstart things. You can take up to 3 a day. That would give you 300 milligrams. And then after the 4 weeks, you can go back to the one a day dose to get 100 milligrams a day, which is generally recommended. You can find True PS at NatureCity.com, along with our other fine products. And that's it for this week's episode. So I hope you enjoyed it and learned a few things. You can, if you liked it, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to see future episodes. We're also available on your favorite streaming services, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and others. You can also sign up for our email list at NatureCity.com, and we'll send you an alert when a new podcast has been dropped. So you can check that out too. So again, this is Carl Pradelli, and I will see you next week.